Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new day. It is Saturday morning. It seems like a Sunday morning, but it's Saturday. And I've got some butter and olive oil here. I'm going to be making some chorizo breakfast burritos. So right now I'm going to cook up some papitas. The reason I put olive oil with the butter is to give it the flavor, but butter burns fast. And the oil is just to keep it from burning. So I'm just going to wait for this to warm up and throw the potatoes in there. Alright, everyone, so I've got the chorizo pretty much broke down, and I'm pretty much ready to put the egg in. I cooked some bacon up also, and I just broke it down into pieces, so I'll throw that in here. So if I haven't told you already, probably have plenty of times, but chorizo is something we always had in the house growing up because it was cheap. And we ate a lot of meals off of it. Sometimes all of our meals in a day consisted of chorizo mixed up with papitas and eggs. And we had some refried beans and tortilla on the side, or we made burritos out of them, or tacos. Or sometimes just put it on the plate mixed up with egg. Put some papitas there, refried beans, heat up a tortilla and scoop it up. So yeah, that was chorizo was definitely a staple in the house all the time as we were growing up. So it's good. I still love eating chorizo. It's what you would call nowadays a struggle meal. I mean, it's not that expensive right now, so if you can imagine back in the 70s and 80s how cheaper it was back then. Alright, so I'm going to grab the egg and the bacon and mix all this together. I've got 5 eggs there. Just get all this mixed up and make some breakfast burritos. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this all mixed up. I know this doesn't look as appetizing right now. When I first made chorizo for Glenn, when I first got here, He's all, that looks like puke. But then once he tasted it, he was enjoying it very much. All right, everyone. So there is our breakfast burrito. I know it's a big plate for a small burrito, but I was going to have two right away, but I'm just going to have one right now, see if I'm hungry for another. All right, everyone. So for today's breakfast, I am going to do two different breakfasts. Yesterday we had the breakfast burritos with chorizo, and there was a little bit left over, and Glenn's not crazy about leftovers, so but I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm going to have the leftover chorizo and make breakfast burritos from that. I'll make Glenn some French toast and some bacon strips. So that's what he would like to have for breakfast. So I'm going to make the mixture for the French toast right now, and then I'll make the bacon. I'll get the bacon going. Now for Glenn, for his French toast, he doesn't like cinnamon or anything in it except the milk and egg. So that's all I'm putting in there. Usually for mine, I like cinnamon in it, but he figures he's just going to get the sweetness from the syrup anyway, and he's not crazy about cinnamon. So we got up early again today. Usually by 7 o'clock the fur babies are getting me up for the morning routine, which is feeding them their wet food. And then at that time, when I feed the cats, I take Gypsy outside for her morning bathroom, whatever. And then usually I'll come back in and do whatever. Sometimes I go back to sleep. And it depends how tired I am or how late I went to bed. Last night I actually went to bed early. I think it was like between 11 and 12, and that's early for me. So I went to bed early. So by the time and I actually fell asleep right away. So by the time I got up this morning to do the routine with the kitties and Gypsy, I was feeling pretty much awake. So I stayed up and I vacuumed the whole house. Our house is small enough where you can do all the vacuuming in one shot. Our house is less than 1,000 square feet. A little over 1,000 square feet with the basement. So, and for me, the house is too big. I would like a tiny house, but Glenn could never get around in one. All right. So yeah, anyway, I just vacuumed the whole house right away. Figure I'd get that done right away. Changed the litter boxes. And yeah, it's nice when you get some of that done early. Now I'm making breakfast. And it just turned 9 o'clock. So feels like the army. Do all you can do before 9 o'clock. All right, so that's done. Now I'm just going to get the griddle started and start the bacon. I'm going to do Glenn's first, obviously, and that way I can just sit and enjoy mine. So, all right, let's get going. Okay, so I got the bacon going. And I'll wait for the bacon to cook a little bit before I start my French toast. Okay, so while I've got the French toast finishing up here, I'm making some coffee. Bacon's done, and I'm going to go ahead and start warming up my chorizo. So I'll just warm it up on here, and then after I got Glenn his stuff, then I'll just warm up my tortillas on here also. Okay, so there's Glenn's breakfast. I'm just going to take him the syrup. He can put it on, and I'll just finish up my breakfast. Probably should have put that cheese on a little earlier to melt, but that's okay. I'll still eat it. And this way, this is not getting wasted, and I still like it. I like leftovers on some stuff more than Glenn does, so that's why I don't mind eating leftovers. I'll probably have enough for 2 burritos here. And yesterday when I made this, we actually had 2 burritos each. Well, I had 2 burritos and Glenn had a burrito, and then he just took chorizo on the plate and ate it with a fork. So that was okay too. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn the griddle off now. Look, the cheese melted. Did I ever tell you I love cooking on this thing? Okay, I'm gonna. You ever see the Honeymooners? Ralph Cramden? Hummina. That's what he used to say. But, alright, there's 2 breakfast burritos with the leftover chorizo, and now it's gone. Nothing wasted, and it's still gonna taste good. So, that's our breakfast for today.